Hey friends, so it is Sunday. I am back home from Josh's. We ended up celebrating Valentine's Day this weekend because we had no idea what Monday was going to look like for us. So we went to a Greek restaurant that we really enjoy but don't really go to all that often. Totally forgot to get any B-roll, but it was delicious as always. We got a grilled octopus and it was amazing. Then afterwards we did something that is so incredibly us and went to a Valentine's themed haunted house. It was a ton of fun. Thankfully, it wasn't insanely busy. And then when we were actually in the haunted house, had a really good time. Across the board, I don't really describe many haunted houses as scary anymore, but this one in particular, I would go with hilarious. We had so many funny interactions with actors. And then, we were celebrating Valentine's Day, and unsurprisingly, Josh knows me insanely well, and he actually got me a few mystery books. So he went to some store and bought some mystery books. He picked out a few that he thought would sound like me. So the first one was A Gripping and Exquisitely Moving Story of Trauma and Healing, a girl in a remote place all alone. But wait, there's ghosts. And that ended up being Watch Over Me by Nina LaCour. And can I just say, I adore this cover so much more than the original hardback edition. This is beautiful. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. And it even has the little, almost like a step back with additional art. And the theme of the artwork fits her previous book, which is We Are Okay, We're Going to Be Okay, something along those lines. Pretty short read, and I have heard good things about this one. I've just never picked it up myself. Also, it's super ironic because he actually read her other book, and so at one point he was actually planning to buy this for himself. Now, after I read it, he's probably gonna borrow it from me. The second one had a tag which said, Every year an innocent life must be sacrificed to the Witch Queen. She doesn't want her brother to be chosen. YA fantasy, sapphic romance. So he knows me pretty well, and that was The Dark Tide by 𝗖cie když. I apologize if I just mispronounced that name. I have not looked it up yet, but this book looks so gorgeous. Really into this like moon art style that's going on. Really cool. I have never heard anything about this one. Everything on the tag, I'm intrigued. I want to know more. It kind of seems like it could possibly have that creepy fairy tale feel that I adore. We will see eventually whenever I get around to it. It's also a standalone, I believe, when I looked it up. In terms of actual reading plans for the week, I just finished out a video which required a ton of reading planning ahead of time. I'll put a link to that in the cards over there. It's actually currently exporting on my computer, so if you can hear it running at 100 miles an hour, that's why. I'm so glad about it. So that means I am being good to myself and allowing some mood reading, which is what I said I was going to do more of this year. For that, one of those is The Dirt on the Ninth Grave by Dorinda Jones. I actually was listening to the audiobook when I was driving back from Josh's, so I'm further in. 78, page 78. This is one of the longer books, and in terms of the plot, I can actually talk about it apart from the fact that this is following Charlie Davidson, who is a Grim Reaper as well as a PI, and being a Grim Reaper really helps with her day job. Plus, it has a romance element to it. This one is pretty unusual in comparison to the other books because, I'm just gonna say it, amnesia is a major plot point in this one, so it's really different from all the rest, and that being said, I think this one's just so much fun because it's so different and so unusual, but we still have the same gang of characters, even though Charlie doesn't remember feeling the way she should about each of them. She still feels that way inherently about all of them, and I love that. On the opposite side, physically, I am reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, which I said was a possibility to be a mood read for me on my February TBR, and now it's fulfilling that. This is a Groundhog Day mystery story in which we are following a person who is trying to investigate the death of Evelyn Hardcastle, but every single day they wake up in a different person's body. That's all I know. That's all I needed to know. I'm super into this. It kind of reminded me of just Clue, but with a sci-fi twist, and I was so all over it. I'm at page 50 exactly. Haven't really learned anything explicitly in terms of the mystery yet. In fact, we actually just recently met Evelyn Hardcastle, so curious as to when she's gonna possibly die. This is also my big book for the month. It clears the 450 requirement at 458. Plans for the rest of the night, I'm gonna finish out everything for that Enemies to Lovers video to go live tomorrow. Honestly, I really need to do laundry, so I might do some of that. Hey y'all, happy Monday. So I have been working through The Dirt on Ninth Grave. I am at page 140. I've actually been listening to the audiobook of this one. Since this is like my millionth read through, I can listen at 2.5 times speed. I totally forgot that the feel of the town in this is basically like Stars Hollow. It's just like the cutest, sweet little town. Our main character in this, Charlie, is working at a little diner. I appreciate the fact that since it's an amnesia story, all of our side characters obviously can't directly interact with her because of the situation that's taking place. They still do, and she still reacts to them as though she remembers who they are, which is very funny and just showcases how true to her personality she is. I am actually planning to continue listening to that audiobook and take Faith on a quick walk. It's super nice outside today. It's like in the 70s right now. My parents also had to go to an event tonight, so I'm determined to be like really productive while they're not home. I have a ton of laundry I still need to get done. And then, like I said, I'm gonna take Faith on a walk. I am gonna try and finish editing 2 different videos. I ended up not really reading any of this last night. Unfortunately, I read exactly 1 chapter, which was 9 pages. I don't really have any new thoughts to give you guys, but I was determined to at least read a little bit of it. Maybe that's another thing I'll do tonight, is get some extra reading in. Yep, like I said, I'm gonna go toss a load of clothes in, get changed into some workout stuff, and then go take Faith on a walk. I really need to do laundry so bad. I'm completely out of clean pants, which is why I wore a skirt today. But with that, I like dressed it up and, was really feeling my outfit. So, haha, that's it for now. I will talk to you guys later. Do you want to come here? Come on. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi guys. So it is Tuesday night. I had to go to a work event, so I didn't get home until late, which is why Faith is very clingy right now. Yay. I did not get any fun B-roll, but basically just had a really nice dinner. I ended up dragging Josh along with me. I actually got a decent amount of reading done today. I am at page 246 in The Dirt on the Ninth Grave, and I'm continuing to love this. I kind of forgot how much fun this one is. Even though Charlie is not technically Charlie, her personality is still just so ingrained in her that even though she has amnesia and thinks of herself as Janie, she still manages to have so much of her true Charlie charisma. She somehow continues to find mysteries. They just appear in her life. The passion and chemistry between her and our love interest does not dissipate at all because she does not remember him. Every interaction is still so spicy, so hot. Charlie is constantly just like so enamored with him, even though she doesn't really remember him, but she knows there's something about him that just makes him so different and is drawn to him all the same, even with not remembering that this man is her husband. I'm blasting through this audiobook in no time. On the opposite side though, with The Death of Evelyn Hardcastle, I actually got a little bit more of this read today because of my boss having to do some paperwork, so I got to focus on this. I'm at chapter 18, page 124, and we finally got some explanation for our main character as to what is taking place, and that allowed us to understand what's happening as well. Definitely sort of sci-fi. Clearly our main character, who is swapping bodies every day, is not happy about being in this predicament, but he is also not alone, which is really interesting. And every body kind of seems to have its own quirks and issues. I am getting more and more enthralled in the mystery. I don't feel particularly strong about any outside characters apart from our main character. I'm gonna finish editing a video very quickly, and then honestly, I think I'm just gonna get ready for bed and continue reading more of this. If you can hear all that background noise, it's because my parents just got home and they are playing with Faith. Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It is Wednesday and I have had a weird day. Yeah, I didn't end up going to work until later because we had some guys come to cut down a tree in our backyard and they basically blocked the entirety of our front driveway, so I couldn't leave. Then I ended up doing a work lunch and learn sort of thing, which was fine, but unexpected. I did not know that was really taking place or what to expect from it. One good thing that did happen today was I actually received an ARC for A Brush with Love by 𝗖cieः𝘁𝗰𝘁. I think this comes out like March 14th, but it's a really cute enemies to lovers romance that I was interested in. I think it's set at like a dental school, and I'm pretty sure the author and the main character are both neurodivergent. Since Tuesday is usually my night that I go to my brother's, but you know, I kind of had that dinner thing last night. I'm gonna be going over there tonight, which is gonna be fun. I think we're gonna be watching the newest Suicide Squad because I don't think they've seen it yet. It's rainy out. I suggested tacos, although now I'm kind of feeling Indian. I don't know, we shall see. Something else awesome that happened today, which honestly does not truly affect me at all, but I am very proud of my best friend. So one of my friends, Kat, that I've talked about on my channel before, she actually got into her master's programs. She got the news today and I'm just so happy and proud of her. And the second half of my day was really weird, I'm gonna be honest. My period started this week, so I've been dealing with cramps for like the last 2 hours. Not fun. My shoulder has been killing me the last few days, but it's really sore today. I don't know why. I think I must have overworked it when I tried a new arm combination at the gym. I kind of had a migraine last Thursday, and I'm really worried that another one might be ramping up because I can feel it building in my eyes, and just, I'm not ready for that. I really don't want it. Whenever I had one last week, I realized it was probably due to staring at a screen so much, because anytime I would look at my phone or my computer, my vision just would not focus. What do both of my job and my major hobby require? Staring at screens. Not great. I got a little bit of The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle read today. I actually realized I never discussed the fact that this has a map at the beginning, and also it has a list of all the notable guests and the big characters throughout the story, so that's been really helpful. I now understand why, I don't remember who it was, but somebody suggested not listening to the audiobook, just reading it physically, because there are such a large cast of characters, and I have to say I really appreciate that, because that list has helped a lot for me to keep everybody straight. On the opposite side, with Dirt on Ninth Grave, yep, here we go. Okay, I'm at 266 because I hit a smutty scene, and I was like, you know, I don't want to listen to the audiobook of this when I have a perfectly good physical copy that I could read it instead. So I stopped listening to that, unfortunately, so I didn't really make too much progress. I'll probably finish that scene later today. And instead, while I was driving home, I just listened to the Hell of a Boss soundtrack, which is amazing. And if you have not watched Hell of a Boss, it is a adult animated cartoon. It's on YouTube. It's totally free. It is made by VisiPop. Anyway, I am going to get changed, take off my makeup, and then I'm gonna go over to my brother's, and honestly, I really hope we eat something so I can take some pain medicine because my shoulder is killing me. Wow, it has been a hot second since I filmed like with this backdrop. Hey guys, so it is Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Clearly, you can tell work She was a lot today. My brain's a little fried, and yet I still have to be super productive. I need to finish my laundry. I honestly really need to get on editing this vlog, but I've been procrastinating. And then I've done a few other little like marketing booktube stuff, like took some book photos, made some B-roll footage. It's been a day. I just know I'm gonna be super tired tonight, and it's really cold out, even though it was like 70 degrees a few days ago. It's crazy windy. Anyway, I actually finished Ninth Grave today. I finished out the audiobook. I forgot about the emotional moment that took place. I was just reading, having a great time, and then it hit me what was about to happen, and I was just like, oh no, no, don't start crying, don't start crying. Thankfully I didn't. Also, there's just some like hardcore foreshadowing at the very end of this one, which I don't think the bad thing I'm thinking about happens in the next book, but it's maybe in the 11th. On the opposite side with Evelyn Hardcastle, I am up to chapter 22, which is page 153. I haven't really gotten too much read, but I've been really good about trying to pick this up instead of looking at my phone lately. So I'm slowly making progress. I am really loving this. We finally actually saw Evelyn die at one point, and it was so dramatic. It just truly feels like an old school mystery book, and I'm so in for this. At the same time, it's as though our main character who we're following finally realized, oh, this is in fact serious. This is happening. Like, she is actually in danger, and I need to figure out who is trying to kill her. I'm so enthralled, and I don't know how Stuart Turton did that to me. I have read his other book, The Devil in the Dark Water, but I read that one via audio, and while I did enjoy it, it just had a lot of characters, which was pretty confusing, whereas this one, we really are only following the main character, even though they're passing between different people's bodies. It's weird, even though there's just as many characters, since we're only seeing from really one perspective, I'm not getting nearly as lost, and it's a lot easier to keep track of everything, so I do appreciate that. I'm determined to actually like sit down and read for an hour tonight. I really want to get some more of this read because I am really enjoying it every time I do pick it up. I just haven't been making the time to sit and pick it up, actually read 50 to 100 pages. That would be great if I could do that, but instead I keep reading in like small bursts. As you guys saw, I ended up running by the library, and I got some books that I don't think I'm gonna start on any of these yet. They're for future videos I have planned out, but I'll show you guys what I have. So first is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. Yes. And first off, deckled edges, heck yeah. I love them. I just think they add some character to the story, and they match with this kind of aesthetic you're getting from the book because, you know, it's set around Greek mythology. This is I don't know if you could say like retelling, but I guess a retelling of the Trojan War, but it's from the perspective of women. And I really like the tagline, "This was never the story of one woman or two, it was the story of all of them." Really intrigued about this. I love a good Greek retelling, and especially with a feminist twist. I mean, kind of following the same vein as like *𝗖cie, which is probably the only one I've read that really fits that. But I have a lot of other books that fit that same description on my TBR, so finally getting into some of those. Next, I got Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was in my 10 books I want to read for 2022 list, so I'm hoping to get around to this one here pretty soon. I also got the audiobook. I don't remember where I was when I DNF'd this. I DNF'd it in like last April, so I'll probably have to backtrack. I'm not 100% sure on that though, because I do actually remember a lot of what was happening, surprisingly. I think it's just because this is a really heavy book. It is a YA contemporary technically, but it definitely has some dark themes following this girl who is taken under the wing of a big name superstar and eventually starts to basically be groomed and abused. It was influenced by the 𝗖cie situation, I believe, and it was definitely a really heavy read. Just wasn't in the great mindset to read this the last time I had it. Finally is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by, I don't know, Ransom Riggs. This has been on my TBR for frickin' forever. Found photos and like put them together and created a story out of them. I'm pretty sure that's like how this book came to be, which is very cool, and I'm super into that idea. Honestly, haven't heard a ton about this series though. I know people have read it, but I feel like I don't actually know many people's thoughts. So if you've read this, did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Was it like middle ground? Let me know in the comments down below. I do know it's the first in a fairly long series, so give me some advice. That is all I really had to talk to you guys about. I think I'm gonna go make some food. Lighting, yeah, it's not great. It is not good, but I'm gonna stick with it because I am too lazy to get up again. It's Friday and Josh is actually coming over. We're gonna go get dinner and then we're gonna go see Uncharted. And you know, I actually don't really know a lot about the video game, but I know it's a video game movie. In fact, I don't really know too much about the story, so pretty much across the board, I don't have a lot of expectations, but I mean, Tom Holland's the main character, so at the very least, I'm gonna get some nice eye candy. Probably gonna be a nice, fun popcorn flick. I'm into it. I'm excited. Work was work. Oh, I think the sun finally went behind that tree. Cool. Okay, in terms of reading stuff, well, I started the audiobook for Grown again, and I actually decided that I was just gonna continue from where I last left off because honestly, I really felt as though I remembered enough of the story to not feel too lost. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I did that. I'm not gonna talk about this too much because I am reading it for a different reading vlog, but I will just say this is such an emotional read. It is so impactful. I think I'm gonna kind of force myself to only really read it in audiobook format when I'm driving. That way I kind of at least have to split my attention a little bit with driving so that my focus is slightly distracted, and maybe that'll help me keep from crying. I actually have gotten about 75 pages worth read today. I'm moving through this pretty quickly. I will say with the short chapters and just the way it reads, it's very quick, it's very fast. I am pushing through and I don't feel like I'm making as much progress as I actually am. On the opposite side, with the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, I'm just gonna like smack this against my dresser a few more times. I think I read about 40 pages yesterday. I finally actually thought to take down some notes while I was reading this so I can give you some commentary that isn't just, I'm really enjoying it. It makes me think of Clue and Groundhog Day because obviously it makes me think of both of those things. First point, I really appreciate the interweaving timelines we're getting. They're kind of confusing, but at the same time, I feel as though they just make the story that much more interesting and intriguing to follow. It's just that one thing that really helps set this apart, and I appreciate that Turton is actually utilizing that. I also think it's very fun that gossip is so important to this. It's really helping to explain some of the relationships and the drama that has taken place behind the scenes for us between all of these different characters. And I think that also is helping us to better understand some of these character dynamics. Since there are many characters in this story, there's a lot of them to follow, but I think learning about them in a way that's like gossip makes it more interesting, so therefore they're more memorable. I appreciate the character work when it comes to the fact that our main detective we are following, when he hops in different characters' bodies, he will take on different personality traits from each of them whenever he's in their body. So the one I'm currently on, this person is definitely very hot-headed, really argumentative, and our detective can see those traits in himself once he's in that person's body, and whenever he is out of that person's body, he is more aware of the fact that that isn't actually who he is. It was the character leeching into him. I think that's very impressive on Turton's part that he can actually showcase that in the writing. I mean, obviously he did explain it to us. I could kind of already feel it just from the difference of how our detective acts based on whose body he's in. Also, just like another quick little tie into Clue, we find out that there are secret passages within Blackheath. I'm having such a fun time with this one. It's so entertaining. I really am so excited to just sit down and read a ton of this at some point. So yes, that is it for now. While I am still, never mind, I was gonna say I was going to get some editing done while I was waiting for Josh to get here, but he literally just pulled up. That's what that fun lighting was there for a second, was his headlights.
If you jump to this ledge from a distance like you see here, Nick will grab the ledge in a weird way, and now he'll be underneath it doing what can only be described as his Spider-Man impression.
Hey guys, so it is Saturday night and I had a really great day. Josh and I went and got sushi. They have a new robot waiter thing that brings you your drinks, which was really crazy and awesome at the same time. I don't know why I was just geeking out over it. It was really cool. Apart from that, we also went to a nature preserve and walked around, which was really nice. We also kind of got lost in the forest at one section. We just went off the official path and we're walking around in the woods. We ended up actually having to hop over a fence to get back into the nature preserve. That's how far off we got. Don't know how we managed it, but we did. Currently, I'm actually doing some reading sprints along with Rye at Rye's Reading Corner, and I'm working on Evelyn Hardcastle. I'm currently at page 219, chapter 31. I also barely, first chapter, started A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings. Also, I don't remember if I pitched this as Enemies to Lovers, but I definitely thought this was Enemies to Lovers. It is not. Poor initial introduction, and then I think it's Friends to Lovers. Yeah, so that is it for now. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update, and I'm gonna continue actually reading. Hey y'all, so I'm officially finishing out this vlog because it's Saturday night and I want to go to bed. I got about 90 pages read in Evelyn Hardcastle, and what did I say? As soon as I had the opportunity to sit down and read, I was going to go through this quickly, and that's exactly what I did. I really like this mystery. I love the time loop element. Also, I really enjoy the atmosphere in this book. I really would think that I am on a giant estate with this creepy, decrepit mansion that is just falling down around me, with all of these people who are definitely morally gray, if not downright detestable. I think there's maybe one or two characters who are actually likable, but pretty much all of them seem like they have some kind of a hidden agenda, and I just don't trust them, which is fun in a mystery because it makes you suspicious of everybody, and I appreciate that because once we will find something out, it then leads to another thing, which then leads to another thing, and then connects with this person, and then makes us suspicious of this situation. I love that. I love the onion effect that this is having. I would say I feel fairly positive towards Evelyn. I do want her to live, which with that, I think it's very interesting that our investigator isn't technically an actual investigator. He kind of brings a different feel to the mystery. I like that I'm rooting for him because he has to find the answer to escape this time loop aspect, but at the same time, he's also just trying to figure out who is responsible for Evelyn's death so that hopefully he can then save her. One thing that I've noticed that I don't know if this ties in with the fact that none of the characters are particularly great people, but every single time our main character hops into a new body, the way they're described is so over the top caricature and just completely and utterly negative. He has nothing nice to say about any of their appearances. It's really odd. But even with those things, I am still having a great time. I am blasting through this pretty quickly. I'm probably gonna continue reading once I finish up with you guys. So that is it for me. Yep, I hope you had fun with this vlog. I actually tried to showcase that I do some things with my life for once. Thank you so much for watching, and I love you. Bye!